Like,
Hello, Seekers. Wildly of Wild Fempire here with your emotional and energetic reading for the final week here of July. Beginning, let's see, we are Moonday, July 25th. As we shake up the cards here, I just want to say thank you so much for offering me your time and your presence, for tuning into these readings each week. I've been doing these for a few years now, and it just always pleases me so much to get the messages in my DMs and the responses to my emails that these little bits of magic really influence and affect your week. It touches me so much. So I really appreciate you. I appreciate you taking a few minutes of your week to be with me. You could literally spend your presence anywhere, and I truly acknowledge that. So this week for all of us, beautiful. We're being met here with the energy of the Eight of Swords. And I'm really feeling this too. We're moving into dark moon at the end of this week. July has been a very potent time, particularly at that Capricorn full moon. I heard a repetition in a lot of stories with my clients as well as myself that a lot of things came to light in the last couple of weeks. A lot of clarity around inequity, a lot of desire for reciprocity. A lot of us felt a crunch energetically. And now, as we are moving into the dark moon, this card makes perfect sense to me that we are ready to acknowledge the places where we're feeling stagnant, where we're feeling trapped or over obligated. It is a time this week to clarify internally within ourselves where our responsibility lives in those dynamics, right? So, what I mean by that is you can see in this card, this person feels trapped by all of these swords. And the swords represent relationships, jobs, obligations, commitments, all of the places where we give our energy in action. For myself, the swords is the element of fire. It's the place where we actively project our energy outwards to get shit done, whether it is in relationship, in our work, in our home life. The fire is the element where we are expending energy, where we're the catalyst for action or for change. And this eight here, which is symbolized in the infinity loop, it is one of the symbols of just the cycles of life. This card is reminding us to take time this dark moon to analyze where we are gifting this precious life source energy, where we are expending outward for the benefit of others as well as ourselves, and to get clear on which swords we're choosing moving forward into the next moon cycle, because that is where our responsibility lives, right? We are we are only truly responsible for ourselves, our own experience, and the way that we are interpreting life. There is some leeway there as far as if you are the caretaker of young people or the elderly or those who are differently abled. But the fact is that we all choose these things. We all choose these things. Even if we become a parent, we can choose to be a very poor parent. We can choose to give our children up for adoption. We can choose to be the best parent possible and really devote ourselves. We can choose to be a helicopter parent and overparent our children and rob them of the ability to be responsible for their own bodies and their own choices. There's a multitude of ways that we can choose to live out our responsibilities. And in that spectrum, we get to choose if these choices become a commitment or an obligation. An obligation carries with it a whole host of heaviness and lack of personal self responsibility. We're just stepping in because we're obligated to do it. And then we can feel resentful about it. We can create all of these emotional experiences, and we rob ourselves of the ability to make empowered commitments that actually mature us, that fill our cups, that leave us with a sense of richness in our lives. Commitments are what turn us into the elders we are becoming. And obligations keep us in an immature framework, an immature state of mind, where we're doing it because we're supposed to, because we're told to, because we have to. All of that language is incredibly disempowering and keeps us distanced from the thing that we are giving our fire, giving our energy to. So, the Eight of Swords this week is inviting all of us, myself included, to really look at all the ways we expend our fire and actively choose it. And if there are things in play that do not feel in alignment, that are not actively being chosen as a commitment, if we find ourselves using the language of have to and should, I'm going to encourage you and invite you this week to, to begin to create some spaciousness from those relationships, from those choices. There is such a thing as a good ending. There is such a thing as things coming to their own natural death process. And that is where we begin our rebirthing, right? Like we have to have a natural death conclusion, whether it's the ending of a relationship, the ending of a job, the completion of a dream. We have to let these things end before there's spaciousness internally for the next thing to come online. And this is the week for us to consciously let go of that which no longer fills our cup and feeds our soul. That feels like the message for us all for this week. I hope that it serves you well. I hope that you have everything that you need. Just to let you know, my calendar is full for the remainder of July, but August is open and available, and I would absolutely love to share some space with you. The first week is full, but we have space in the weeks following, and I encourage you to get on my schedule as soon as possible. I do tend to fill up pretty quickly. So if you need that information, the link is in my bio, and it's a really easy process. Just go into Calendly, pick a time that works for you, and then we can share some space together. So again, thank you so much for coming and consuming my content. I really, really hope that it supports you. Please let me know that it does. Leave me a comment, shoot me an email, shoot me a DM. I love to hear from my people and to continue deepening our relationships together. Until next time, take good care, and I will check in with you again soon. Bye for now.